so bright. Ideals flash in the night. Opponents stand side by side. Soldiers collide, nowhere to hide. This meet dreams in the street. History on repeat. Our world's in a spin. Let the future begin.
It's a crawling like bugs tonight. Freedom's calling, gotta rise and fight. We'll stomp 'em out with all our might. Watch 'em scatter in fear and fright. Crushing commies beneath our shoes like tiny pests with nothing to lose. Crushing commies, our anthem strong. Stand united where we belong. In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old we'll keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway. In the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
We stand firm in our belief. Hold tight. Through the times clearer we can see. Crazy world spinning round. Stay grounded. In our hearts simple truths agree. Whisper of freedom and liberty rings true. Our foundation strong and deep. Holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady path we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In the story we've built, put trust in, never doubt. Time flies, but we won't bend. Communists talk loud and fast. Stay solid. Our quiet strength is our reply. So salute to change, but pause. Reflect. In unity, our dearest friend. Holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady path we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In shadows we find our light. Through chaos we stay upright. Stay. With courage, faith on our side. Forever. Standing firm, our guide. Holding on to steady path we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow.
Times are changing, feel the buzzing, staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights, with the star-spangled banner I stand tall with manners, cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. Stick to values in the trends, families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision, in God we make decisions. For our dream, through thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery, with liberty.
It's that time of year where we dress in the past, it's rather sincere. We'll celebrate the blues and jazzy tunes with a wink and a nod beneath the full moon. It's Black History Month, let's spin the records again. Swing to the beat as we pretend to comprehend.
I thought the world would turn slower, not as fast as it does. Conservative hearts were steady, sure, and just because. A simpler time of values, when right was what it was. It seems like those days vanished with just a fleeting pause.
Right-wing dreams of yesterday, steady in the fray, keep
keeping timeless traditions, leading all the way.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean. We gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh, what sight, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same old fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright, got too tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Yeah, oh yeah. We sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old love and soul, that baby in our heart, getting like a dog and night in this fast-paced world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culturama, where on this show we are trying to reclaim the zeitgeist of traditional Americana back into the United States, and we're trying to save it from the induction of postmodernism that has so infected many major modern institutions. So I want to thank everyone that has joined and is writing in the chat. I already see you guys, and it's very good to see that. Hold on, let me silence my phone here so we won't have any problems. We have so much to cover today, and I know I say that in every episode, but we're on week 3 of the new administration, and as new things keep coming out, with the policies that are being proposed, and Trump is just doing amazing work in changing and help change our culture. A lot of what he's done isn't perfect, but we can at least assert that right now we are seeing major changes happening institutionally as well as culturally, and a lot of leftists are also losing their grip on sanity, and we will come to see that as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there has been Google has actually been winding back on some of their, you could say, DEI diversification, advertising and policies within their company. I want to cover that. I also just want to cover a lot of the demoralization campaigns that we have been, or if you want to say collectively, whether or not you want to be part of the movement or not. So I suppose I could say what the conservatives have been doing, pushing against the tyrannical agenda that the left has been pushing against us for so long. So finally, they get to experience the negativity that they have thrown on us. Also, in other news, Trump has made serious history in attending the Super Bowl. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? I caught a few parts of it. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big football fan, but there has been apparently a lot of serious things happened while I was when I wasn't watching. I didn't watch the clip where Taylor Swift was booed, but that happened, and Donald Trump has attended the Super Bowl. Apparently, he has left midway through when it turned out that his team wasn't winning. He was rooting for the Chiefs, the Chiefs, when I've heard, and so he left midway through, but he has made serious history attending the Super Bowl. He's glad-handed. He shook hands with people, smiled in the cameras, talked with fellow Americans, and boy, I think that's pretty exciting, and it's really showing that he is a man of the people in many ways. Again, regardless of what you think of him, you got to admit the changes that have been occurring and the conversations that have been created since his administration has proceeded forward has been quite incredible. And on top of that, we are seeing the modern elite, or the modern American elite, lose their aura. Anywhere from Kanye West, which I don't know if I'll talk about on this show, I might touch on a little bit, to Taylor Swift. interesting how it's those two people that were in the news these last couple days, isn't it? Considering their history together. But and as far as Taylor Swift is concerned, as all of us are already aware, she has been booed. Americans, average Americans or everyday people, they're sick and tired of the elites of this country. They don't take celebrities seriously any longer, especially as it pertains to their participation in politics. But on top of that, I think people are just downright sick and tired of, you know, giving any merit to these individuals when we ourselves are suffering internally and economically here in the country. So I want to cover that with you guys as well. But before I do that, I want to say hello to those in the chat. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I always do. Let's see who's in the chat. Helping Freedom, Ro, I'm here, dog. Hello, Helping Freedom. It's good to see you. We have Bucks Nasty in the chat. Hello, Bucks Nasty. Robbie Thurman. Hello, Robbie. Grizz Cheese. Happy Tuesday evening. Good to see you, Grizz Cheese. We have Waco from YouTube. Hello, Waco. They wrote, I tuned in to the game just as Taylor Swift was getting booed. Best Super Bowl ever, SB. That, I suppose that's short for Super Bowl. Thank you for joining, Waco. It's good to see you. Entropy Nomad. Hello, Entropy Nomad. That Black History Month is a new song. Apparently, Black History Month isn't a thing anymore, at least as far as Google is concerned. So I'll be talking about that. Bucks Nasty. Hello. Let's see. Okay, I think I named everyone that has decided to write in the chat. And if you're just and then Skooma and Stimpax also wrote, hello, Skooma and Stimpax. Good to see you on YouTube as well. And if you're just a lurker of the show, feel free to chat and interact with me. And also, if you want me, and I announce this at every stream, and I'll continue announcing it, if you want me to answer any of your questions or, you know, cover any stories that you want me to cover, please send in a Rumble rant, especially if we're midway through the stream and I have a lot of chat, you know, I may not be able to get to your comments, so please do that. And it can be as little as a couple bucks, but not only will you get me to see your comment, but it'll go a long way in supporting the channel and the stream. Also, another way that you can support the stream is by sharing and liking the stream. Please do that. We presently are not streaming on X. The For Liberty Network is a targeted network. We do have hackers involved. So we cannot presently stream on X, so my viewership will be a bit down for these next few days. Really sucks for that. So if you can, please like and share the stream. Share the link if you can, and it will go a long way in supporting the stream and supporting our reach so we can get the Culturama name out there. And the last thing I will say before we jump into the news, but if you are a fan of the show and you still want to support us financially, which should be highly appreciated, but you wanted to get something out of it, we have Culturama pillows. We have a bunch of merchandise from the Culturama shop, or what I call the grift shop. I'll be pulling up a little later on the stream here today so you guys can take a look at it. Also, we have our very own Culturama coffee, and if you do enjoy coffee, hot or cold, you can enjoy it iced or, you know, straight from the steamer, as I like to say. Please purchase a bag of the Culturama coffee also on the Culturama collection shop found on the ap4libertyshop.com. Once again, that is ap4libertyshop.com. And there you can find the delicious coffee. Our coffee beans are from Costa Rica, I believe, not Colombia. And that way you can make a one-time purchase of the coffee or a consecutive purchase every couple months, and it will go also a long way in supporting the show. I have it right here, and that is how I can do these streams for as long as I do with you guys. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so I see a Drew Van Runkle on Rumble. Hello, Drew Van Runkle. I do not believe I've seen your name before, so it's very good to see you. Thank you for joining the Culturama stream, where we reclaim the zeitgeist and we take part in the zeitgeist. We are active members of the zeitgeist and we recognize that, and we continue that tradition forward. So let's see here. I have a lot of stories that I wanted to cover with you guys. I don't know exactly where to start. I don't think I'm going to start with the Super Bowl quite yet. What I do want to reiterate, 10, my goodness, we already have, hold on a second, we already have $10. Did you guys hear that sound effect? Hold on. Let me see if my Yes, you did hear that sound effect. Very good. Okay, we have $10 in the chat from Helping Freedom. Thank you so much, Helping Freedom. I really appreciate that. I wish I had my other sound effect on because I really liked it, but it's copyright, so I don't know if I can do it. But thank you, Helping Freedom, for the $10. He writes, first time watching Cheers. I usually watch AP's Wake Up America show. I'll try to remember to pick up a bag of Culturama coffee. Thank you so much. Helping Freedom, yes. I don't know if you watch me on there, but every Thursday I show up on the Wake Up America show. And yes, we are part of the For Liberty Network. This is part of Austin Peterson's network. So I really do appreciate you watching his show as well as mine. And I really do appreciate you purchasing the coffee. You won't regret it. Believe me, you will enjoy the coffee. We have another $10. Wonderful from Robin Garland. Thank you so much, Robbie. They wrote Freedom with a W. Very well put, Robbie. I do appreciate that. And also, just so you guys know, since we are getting donations coming in here, I will just say this because I can't go on without saying this part. We do have an Unleash the Beast meter. This is where if we reach a certain ransom amount, I will be bringing on my dysgenic canine on the stream for the rest of the stream, or as long as he is willing to handle it. And once we reach that mark, I will play off this sound effect, and that means we have reached the meter, and I will be bringing on my dog. Just so you know, my dog is highly dysgenic. He is 4 generations inbred. He has several toes, and part of his teeth have fallen out. And that's just a little treat for you guys that donate. I will set up the ransom amount today for $60. It has been $50, but since we have been getting more donations, I will set it up for $60. Anyways, but that is the Unleash the Beast meter.
Monster kill.
Anyways, I just want to get the preliminaries out of the way so I can proceed with the stories. But thank you so much, Robbie and Helping Freedom, for already donating. That is very much appreciated. Alrighty, so yes, Leo, Bucks Nasty is writing Leo in the chat. Exactly. We love our Leo. It's not just my Leo, it's your Leo too. And the reason why I say that is because we do have a pillow of Leo in the grift shop, the Culturama shop as well, if you're interested in getting that. Anyways, like I was saying, conservatives, fellow conservatives, Trumpians, maybe even libertarians have been pushing forward in what I have been calling the demoralization campaign against leftists. And I can't even get on with my stories, you guys. We have another donation in by Steelbringer. Steelbringer, thank you so much. Steelbringer has donated $10. Thank you so much, Steelbringer. You wrote, "Oh man, every time I think of Kamala stealing the freedom story, I cringe." Indeed, the freedom with the W, beautifully said. Just like how autists say it. Wonderfully said. Thank you so much, Steelbringer. It is appreciated. Anyways, you guys are so generous. Thank you for all these donations already. Like right off the bat, we've just started. I can't even get to my stories, and you guys are, man. You guys are incredible. Thank you. That's already $30 in. We've halfway through the Leo meter, and we are only, 20 minutes into the show? Wonderful start. Like I was saying, we have been pushing forward this propaganda campaign against the leftists, against the establishmentarians, the people that have taken over the reins of decision-making and control within our institutional government and main major decision-making processes in America. Whether you want to talk about federal institutions, higher education, or even the nonprofit sector or the NGO sectors we have seen, as well as many others. Thanks to the Trump campaign and his administration, we have been seeing these people just fold over and over again. And this is where I want to pull up these stories for you guys. So give me a second here and I'll do that for you. But one major feature and a large monolith that we have seen crumble already has been Google. And I will talk about Google, but first, what we've also been seeing... Wait, hold on a second. Let me pull this up here. I've got to make sure I have everything. Did you guys see this? Let me play the Mexican music again. It is the Gulf of America! Google Maps has has finally changed it. Days and days out, we were all waiting on the edge of our seats thinking, when will this happen? And it finally has happened. Google Maps has changed it to Gulf of America. I personally don't use Google Maps. I actually use Apple, and I am, still waiting for myself. So Apple will update it. Apple, you're so close. Just join the tide. Join the present zeitgeist. Become absorbed into it. Just embrace the change. It's time for Gulf of America, okay? I know there's been a lot of naysayers, even on the right wing, that have said that this is cringe. Regardless, this is still a way for us to posit ourselves as exceptional and as an exceptional country. Whether or not you think it is silly, I think it's actually... Some may say that Trump is posturing here. I think it's actually quite fun and exciting, and it's about time that Apple Maps joins in on it. Also, additionally, not only has Google Maps changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, but this is big, you guys. The Google Calendar has removed key cultural events, quote unquote, from their site, including the following: Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, Jewish Heritage. I guess this is Jewish Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage, I'm assuming Heritage Month. And then Indigenous People Month. So that would be November, as far as I'm aware. So they have removed all of these. And I guess that means that Black History Month is done, you guys. We are only 11 days in to Black History Month. But as far as Google is concerned, and if you use Google applications, that will not be a thing anymore. My condolences to those that were celebrating and were enjoying, their peanut butter and whatever else you want to attribute to this very lovely month. But hence Black History Month. But this is huge. Again, Google, major institutional staple within the United States and honestly all across the world. And so to see them do this, especially removing like Pride Month, is huge. And it really does show, I think, that the cracks in the wall are only growing. They're increasing. It's becoming more concave. And over time, the wall will weaken. And it is presently weakening right now. And it's becoming more obvious, but it has been weakening. And I want to posit this. It has been weakening for quite some time. Even a little over a year ago, I think it was by now, do you guys remember the Budweiser commercial scandal? People were not giving their money anymore. They saw that the woke campaigns were not doing anything for themselves, for their consumership. It did not uplift their experience as far as consumption was concerned, so they didn't want to contribute to it anymore. We saw the same thing with movies. People weren't giving their money to movies that they found were woke. When the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs scandal situation happened with Disney, a lot of naysayers came out and said, I don't want to give my money to this, right? So I think even back then, businesses and organizations were seeing the tides of change. It's just that it took Trump to get into office to now really break through and have these major changes actually being put forth and done and put into practice. Also, we have another donation. Entropy Nomad. Thank you so much, Entropy Nomad, for your donation. $10. Let me read this donation, Entropy Nomad. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, Entropy Nomad. $10 from Entropy Nomad Hero. If I had $1 for every song Taylor has about her poor choice in men, I could unleash the beast. Oh, you'd have far more than that, Entropy Nomad. Yes, very true. To be honest with you guys, maybe this will come as a surprise for a lot of you, maybe not. I've never listened to a single Taylor Swift song in full, and I don't intend to. I would rather do almost anything other than do that. I've heard bits and pieces of Taylor Swift music here and there. I've never actually sat down and listened to it in full. I've never felt compelled to. I will literally listen to anything else. I'll even listen to rap. And I know there was discussion about rap in the last few days since the halftime show on Sunday and about whether or not rap should be considered a legitimate music choice or genre. But and I don't like rap. I'm gonna be real here. I made my tweet. I said rap is dead. I don't like rap, but I will even listen to rap and any other pop slop out there than listen to Taylor Swift. It's just she's not for me. So, but I do know the meme where she makes songs about, I guess, breaking up with men a lot. She has poor choice in men, so I understand the meme, but I've never listened to it. Is there anyone out there like me that? Is there anyone out there like me that hasn't listened to a single song of hers? Because I honestly don't know. Mr. Pig wrote, sadly, I don't think Vidya is gonna make it. Video games. What are you exactly referring to, Mr. Pig? I would like to know. Daniela is more of a Mortal Kombat music gal. Exactly, Entropy Nomad. You get it. Okay, so anyway, back onto my soapbox that I was on for. I did want to bring on this one last point. Okay, demoralization campaign working. Leftists are feeling completely demoralized and weakened. Their structure is weakening. Their hold on institutions and their institutional hold is weakening, and it has been weakening for a number of years now. We have voted with our wallets, and we are continually voting with the people that we have voted into office to make these changes and to really break through and implement these. And now we are seeing Google make changes. They have changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. They are taking away these ridiculous cultural events from their site and from their calendars. And now we have even Vox come out and make articles like this. Can I not read this article? Oh no, is it not going to let me read this article? I can't even open the article, you guys. I had it open for literally a day now, and now it's locking me out. But even Vox article, I don't have to read out the article for you. You can see the headline right there. It says, "Don't expect the courts to save us from Donald Trump. Courts are inherently reactive institutions. Trump always gets the first move." Vox, you guys, it's over. It's over for them. They know it's over, and they feel compelled to even write out entire treaties of why they are defeated. And, you know, perhaps I'm white pilling a little too much. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I am sure that there will be a lot of issues with the Trump administration, so I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. But at least it is important to acknowledge that we should count our W's while we still have them. It is emboldening for us. It is emboldening for our side of the political aisle. And it only goes into the entire process of how the zeitgeist actually works. It's a conflict, and it's a constant conflict, but it's important that we take our wins while we can. And it's unfortunate to see people within the right wing or the so-called right wing kind of like be addicted to losing. They don't, you know, like I don't want to mention certain names, but, you know, I see certain figures, like you see people like, I don't know, James Lindsay tweet about this. I saw him tweet about the Gulf of Mexico, saying that we should still call it the Gulf of Mexico and return to tradition, you know, things like that. People that are, I guess you could say, trying to gatekeep certain parts of the right. And I understand I understand the premise. I understand why they would do that. But I also think it's important for those of us that would call ourselves part of the right wing to really celebrate the fact that the things that we were complaining about for a number of years now, at least during the Biden administration, and especially during COVID, we are seeing these changes finally come into fruition. So it's probably time that we do celebrate at least a little bit. But like I said, perhaps I'm getting too ahead of myself. Alrighty, let me see here. Mr. Libsardi on YouTube, thank you for joining the chat. They wrote, "I have never listened to a Taylor Swift song." Wonderful. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Helping Freedom. LOL, I only listen to Christian hymns because I feel like regular radio music has subliminal messages. It most certainly does. Actually, music is it's one of the main vehicles for that. Mr. Pig writes in the chat, music is magic spells. Yes, a lot of things are magic spells, imagery as well as music. And so when you are listening to any music, and I don't want to say just popular music, there's a lot of like niche artists out there. I don't want to get into this too much, but there's a lot of niche artists out there that really know what they're doing and, you know, will put in certain messaging in their music as well as the imagery on their album covers and certain art to try to incite or manifest. Here's the thing, you guys, and I don't want to get too weird here, but the human mind is a very powerful weapon. And if you do not maintain a healthy mindset or a healthy mentality, you can potentially manifest certain realities for yourself and maybe even others if you don't practice a healthy lifestyle, so to speak, that would facilitate a healthy mind. So it's very important to be aware of what media you're consuming and what music you're consuming. So anyway, helping freedom, you're absolutely right. There is subliminal messaging. I don't think subliminal messaging is necessarily bad. It depends on what the messaging is. So if you guys want to listen to popular music, that's on you. Just be aware that, you know, what you're consuming will affect you. Anyways, enough of the occultism. Let's get to the main news here. I want to talk about the Super Bowl next, I think. Oh no, I want to do some foreign news first. I actually want to talk about Hamas and Israel and Egypt first, actually. So I'm going to be pulling that up first. Donald Trump is making major moves across the seas, and he is apparently going to make major changes in the Middle East. And I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm going to be talking about that next. I'm sure you guys will talk about it in the comments. So I will be right back. I'll be pulling up those stories. Just bear with me, and I will be playing my commercial here in a moment.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah. Who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have "Glad You Came Out" and "I'm so happy that you're queer" in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
Alrighty, hello everyone, welcome back to the Culturama show. Once again, if you're watching this on Rumble, that is a blessed place to watch me. Share and like the stream. It goes a long way in supporting the show and spreading our reach. We could not stream on X today. Hopefully that'll be rectified soon enough, and so I will get my bigger audience back. But thank you everyone that is joining. I really do appreciate it. Anyways, a lot of issues that are breaking out here today. I know everyone's talking about the Ye scandal right now. I just checked on Twitter and I see he allegedly has harassed a Jewish staffer, I believe. So I may be talking about that as I proceed forward on this show. However, I do want to talk about some legitimate politics right now and foreign relations. And I just want to get that out of the way before we get into the big stuff, including the Super Bowl story. So let me pull this up right here. Breaking news, you guys. At least I found out about this last night. Trump issues a warning. If Egypt and Jordan refuse to accept Palestinians into their territory, he will consider canceling aid. This is huge. And then additionally, Trump says, let's read this article together. It's on The Hill. Questionable source, but still worth our time for reading. Trump says that he may withhold aid to Jordan and Egypt if they don't take in Palestinians. Okay, so this is another step forward into the Trump regime that he is trying to rectify the certain situation that is happening there in the Middle East and in the Levant region. And I don't know how successful he will be here, especially with the displacement of certain amounts of Palestinians. I really don't know how realistic this is, but this is a strategy nonetheless, and so I wanted to read this together with you guys here today. So let's read it. Yesterday, President Trump said that he would consider withholding aid to Jordan and Egypt if they do not agree to take in Palestinians as part of a plan for the U.S. to take over and develop the Gaza Strip. I'm sure you guys are already aware of that plan. He's mentioned it last week, how he does want to take control over that region. Quote, someone asked him, would you withhold aid to these countries if they don't agree to take in the Palestinians? Trump was asked during a gaggle with reporters in the Oval Office. This is what they reported him saying. He wrote, yeah, maybe, sure, why not? Trump responded, if they don't agree, I would conceivably withhold aid, yeah. Jordan and Egypt are among the top recipients of U.S. military assistance, by the way. I didn't know this before looking into the story. But yes, Jordan and Egypt are the ones that are the most dependent on us as far as military assistance. So that's quite interesting. So this would be a big change for not only their relations between the United States, but it would be a major change in how Jordan and Egypt really interacts with the rest of the world, particularly that region in the Middle East, considering how it's not the safest area. The U.S. and Jordan signed a memorandum in 2022 in which the U.S. committed to providing more than, get this, $1 billion annually in foreign assistance. That is a lot of money, $1 billion. The U.S. provided roughly $1.5 billion in foreign assistance to Egypt in the fiscal year of 2023. Trump last month called on Egypt and Jordan to take in more Palestinians from Gaza, much of which has been decimated by the war between Hamas and Israel that broke out in October 2023 after Hamas carried out an attack on Israel. Since then, Trump has proposed that the United States could take control of the Gaza Strip and rebuild the area for economic development. While the White House said the Palestinians would be temporarily relocated while the Gaza is rebuilt, Trump has repeatedly suggested Palestinians would have no desire to return to Gaza and floated the possibility of them not being allowed back. Now, once again, I do want to say I don't know how realistic this is. This would be, I think, difficult to achieve. Is it possible? Sure. I'm sure that if you have two countries that take in the most military aid than any other country in the world from the United States, it probably means that they need it. And so they would go to certain lengths to continually receive that aid. But, you know, and once again, this could be achieved, but I would suspect with a lot more resources, and frankly, our money put into this for perhaps the displacement campaigns that would have to occur in order to do this. But let's continue reading. Arab leaders in the region have said efforts to displace Palestinians or move them into neighboring countries are a non-starter. Egypt and Jordan, countries with peace treaties with Israel, oppose absorbing Palestinians, claiming it poses a security risk. It is destabilizing and threatens to provoke mass opposition. Exactly. That's what I would presume would happen. It would be incredibly destabilizing for those countries. But at the same time, those countries, Jordan and Egypt, are very dependent on the United States. It would kind of make sense for Trump to answer in such a flippant manner, especially since, frankly, I don't think he wants to continually give out aid and assistance to these countries. And so for him to respond in such a flippant manner actually makes some sense to me. And also, once again, to just show you guys how truly dependent these countries are on us, since the Trump suspension of U.S. aid, which has occurred for the last few days ago, I believe it has been fully suspended, if I'm not mistaken, or at least is in the process of doing so. Jordan particularly has lost over 35,000 jobs, okay? 35,000. Think of the economic impact that Jordan will have to face. They're probably pretty upset. Jordan's probably pissed for the suspension of the U.S. aid. 35,000 jobs isn't something to blink at. Sure, it's not like massive, but I do think that especially for a country like Jordan, this would economically destabilize them to some degree. But this article states the Trump administration's recent decision to suspend U.S. aid payment is reportedly already having a devastating effect in Jordan, according to the UAE report citing nonprofit organizations. The national outlet reports that 35,000 jobs have been lost as a result of the move, including the Jordanians and Americans working on projects funded by the U.S. One of Jordan's largest nonprofits is quoted in the Emirati report saying that more than half of its budget comes from the U.S. sources, and the aid suspensions have affected operations, quote, tremendously. Exciting stuff, you guys. So I'm not going to read the rest of this article. I just wanted to show you how completely dependent these countries are on us. And not just these countries, but a lot of countries are, but particularly the devastated region of the Levant in the Middle East, where these countries are located. So Trump is my mistake. Trump is calling the shots here. He really is having his hand entirely in the cookie jar, and I think that for at least a lot of foreign actors and the elites involved, or the global elites involved in this situation, they're going to obviously have a target painted on Trump's back. No doubt they already have, but I think this is kind of a gutsy move. It's going to increase the target even more, but I think it's also necessary. I don't know exactly where he's going with this. I really do hope, though, that his ultimate goal is to lessen foreign intervention. A lot of people think that lessening foreign intervention means that we should pull out of everything right away. Things don't work like that, especially with foreign relations and international relations. You do have to be, wary of what you're doing. And so I do hope that the end goal is at least justifying what is happening now. I'm going to trust the plan. We'll see. But anyway, in the midst of all of this happening, Hamas has also stated that they will not be returning the hostages, and this is Trump's response to it. So I wanted to play this for you guys as well. Let me get my volume up here first. Trump said if all the hostages are returned by Saturday at 12, I would say cancel it and all bets are off. Let hell break loose. Let's listen.
Say this, should the ceasefire then be off? Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision. But as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and
Droops
4
and drabs.
2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out.
Or should the ceasefire then be off?
Well, I would say this.
So, yeah, Israel has complete and total reign on what they do if Hamas doesn't return the hostages. So they have until Saturday. TikTok, Hamas. Anyways, so I thought that was very pertinent. But kind of removed from that, I do want to move away from this for a little bit. J.D. Vance. A lot of Trumpists and, people that are infatuated with the upcoming Trump regime have this idea that, Trump has to have a successor. He has to pass down his populist mantle to someone, right? And a lot of conversations were being had about who that would be, especially since Trump has come into office. Now, everyone seems to be sharing the consensus that it's J.D. Vance. This video has brought that into question. So let's take a listen to this. This is an interview on Fox News with Brett Baer.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
That's been the fastest and the most stuff
Well,
happening.
we've done so much, so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
So that's your guys' answer for all the J.D. Vance truthers out there. He said no, but he is capable, and
you view Vice President
this has kind of rocked the world of people that
the
were
Republican nominee in 2028.
No, but he's very capable.
This has kind of rocked and shaken the world of Trumpists everywhere, and all I got to say to that is, we're only 3 weeks in now, not even a month in. Give it time. Of course, Trump, everything that Trump says, he says it with strategy and he does it for a purpose. He doesn't mince words around. He's very clear and direct with what he says. And of course, he has a purpose with everything that he says. But I think he's making it very clear to his administration as well as his followers that it is too soon to tell. Give it time. J.D. Vance, as you guys are aware, hasn't always been a Trump loyalist. Since the beginning, he was actually a detractor from it. So, and of course, since then, he's changed. People can change. So I'm not going to say whether or not J.D. Vance is, honest in his takes on Trump right now or not. But what I will say is that, it makes sense why Trump would be a bit suspicious is the wrong word. I guess I would say perhaps it makes sense why Trump would be a bit skeptical of passing down the mantle so soon. Because, first of all, the guy's kind of an egomaniac. I'll just put that out there. He doesn't want the spotlight off of him. But beyond that, he just wants to be sure. And he does have this legacy. And the Trump legacy needs to be put in the hands of someone that truly deserves it. And that's how he views it and how he frames it. Whether or not by that point, I guess you could say the cultural movement, the regime, the populist movement, whatever you want to describe it as, whether the Trump culture will change by then and transpire into something else and become something else or not, it is important that whoever will succeed him or perceive to succeed him truly embodies the value sets of the Trump cultural movement and deserves it and has shown a certain degree of, expertise and concern for the matter and maintaining its legitimacy before just giving it over to someone. So I do agree that asking Brett Baer asking Trump this question so soon is, kind of throwing a monkey wrench into it. We have yet to see whether or not the administration is actually successful in what it wants to do. Yes, he has made promises and he has kept a certain amount of those promises, but we still have a lot of time. And so to throw this question out there, I think is too soon. And again, in today's world, things change, cultures change abruptly and quickly. And who knows by 4 years from today, whether or not the same culture will still remain the same as it is right now, especially within the right wing. And as we have seen in the last few years, the right wing has changed drastically. So, but that is my take on the J.D. Vance situation. I do foresee J.D. Vance doing that, and I think I think J.D. Vance would be a decent successor. But again, only time will tell. Let's see what are you guys saying in the chat. Thank you so much for the donations that have been sent already. We are very close, actually, to reaching. We are very close to reaching the Leo meter of $60 for his ransom. So if you guys want to see my dysgenic canine, we just need a few more bucks towards that goal. But also, if you do like the stream, you know, and you want me to read any of your comments or story suggestions or answer your questions, send in a Rumble rant and I will get to those promptly. Barney Styles wrote, okay, I'm here, start over from the beginning. I can't do that, Barney. What I will say so far, what I've covered is that some international relations news and Google is also making major changes in its own organization. And so that's pretty big. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Pig. Vivek was here one day and then poof. Almost like, not almost, it was literally overnight. Granted, it was over a tweet, but overnight, Vivek is now completely like etched out of the Trump legacy. And whether or not you guys like that, it's true. That's where we are at right now. No one likes Vivek right now. Did you guys see him attend the Super Bowl? Hold on a second. People are clowning on Vivek because... Here it is. I just want to say I never liked the guy, so I feel okay in making fun of him. But this is... People have been saying that Vivek Ramaswamy is trying to pose as your average everyday American after basically shit-talking them, excuse my French, on Christmas. But these people say Vivek Ramaswamy appears on the sidelines at the Super Bowl enjoying a game instead of studying or practicing piano. I don't know, Vivek. Should you be practicing the piano? Here's another one. This is him landing at, what is this, New Orleans? Is that what NOLA stands for? Beautiful day for the Super Bowl. Yeah, New Orleans, Louisiana. Beautiful day for the Super Bowl. And people have been pointing at this picture saying, here we go. How do you do, fellow sports fans? This is, by the way, this is my favorite Simpsons episode. I forgot what it's called. This episode is my favorite Simpsons episode. That one and the one where Bart sells his soul. So everyone is making fun of him. This is on, by the way, this is Vivek's official post. People are kind of clowning on him, asking why he's not studying, practicing piano. And it's a bit, it's like celebrating mediocrity to go to a Super Bowl. I thought sports were for stupid people. This person, just straight up, everything about you is fake and icky. Ohio State governor, so obviously he's going to want to curry the favor of the culture of that area, which, by the way, isn't what he would suggest is considered exceptionalism. Turns out Americans actually like their football, including the people of his state. So anyways, but yeah, I was seeing that and I thought that was pretty funny. But it's really sad to see a man fall from grace like Vivek has. Again, I never liked him, but it is quite painful to watch. Vivek shot himself in the foot with a tweet. Exactly. All it took was one tweet. Granted, it was a long tweet. And he actually, I mean, he sat there. Did you guys see that? It was like an essay. It was a huge tweet. He sat there and he wrote it and he pondered over it for a while before he posted it. It wasn't just one tweet, like a one sentence. It was multiple sentences. And I don't know what man ended his political career with one tweet. Exactly. Again, it wasn't just like a flippant tweet though. He wrote an essay, and that's what really boggles my mind, is that he sat there and he pondered it and he really thought that it sounded good by calling Americans stupid. Man, sad stuff. Anyways, the next thing I wanted to talk about with you guys, I think I'm going to I'm going to talk about the Super Bowl. I don't know if I should talk about the Ye situation because I know it's just happening right now. I probably, if this is a place for breaking quality news, I should probably cover that too, right? I mean, I am talking about how celebrities are losing their aura, and Americans are completely delegitimizing them. But I don't want to touch the Ye story, to be quite honest with you guys. I'm not a big fan of it, but I will probably cover that as well. So stay tuned. I will be pulling up my next few stories. I'm going to be starting off by covering the Super Bowl topic, as well as Trump making history by attending the first president to attend a Super Bowl ever. Stay tuned. I'll be right back, and I'll be pulling those stories up. And if you have some time, go to the ap4libertyshop.com while I'm pulling these stories up to get yourself a fresh cup of coffee by joining the Culturama collection on the ap4libertyshop.com. I'll be right back. I'll be pulling up those stories. Stay tuned, everyone.
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway. In the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
Golden dreams that won't decay, marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow wide, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we stride in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Times are changing, feel the buzzing. Staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision. In God we make decisions for our dream. True, thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty.
We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery, with liberty.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna play this video here. So Trump was cheered while Taylor Swift was booed. These are just some highlights from the show.
No.
I don't care about this. Show me the Taylor Swift video now.
No. No.
Rap is indeed dead.
Our people.
Our salty brethren. Ha, you and me could learn something from her.
It's you and I.
Oh, hey,
I
Gus.
didn't watch
You ain't
any
give
of
me
the
exact
ads.
change. Yeah, get over it.
He's salty, but I'm the
I
saltiest.
am aware of the
Oh,
Yeezy
saltier
ad,
than
which I'll be
me? When I
covering.
smile, people assume it's a glitch.
Please, I'm.
A mission that doesn't come along very often.
So these are just some of the boring. Oh,
Standing in front
is
of
that
this.
Hold on a second. Is that Tom Cruise is changing face? Yeah, I've heard that he had plastic surgery. What is going on
That doesn't
with him?
come along very often.
Oh my God! I didn't know it was that
Standing
bad.
in front of this final act, knowing that the long, winding road here.
That is quite unfortunate. Is it? I've heard that he's gotten major plastic surgery. That's why he looks different. But anyway, this isn't a stream about Tom Cruise. But here it is. This is a tweet I wanted to get at. I wanted to cover this highlight. I'll read it off to you. This man makes a salient point here. The official end of woke celebrity culture, or leftist celebrity culture. Just after Donald Trump receives rapturous applause at the Super Bowl. Interesting wording choice there. Taylor Swift is roundly and loudly booed. These stars don't know what hit him. And here's the video that everyone's already seen. She is horrified, as you can see in her eyes. And you can hear the thunderous booing emanating from all of these folks around. Clearly, not a good time to be alive if you're a celebrity. Thank goodness we are not living in 17th century France. Anyway, but this is what we are, 1700s rather. But yes, woke celebrity culture is over. Many a time have we had to sit there and listen to ads and social media posts and even articles written about and on these people having to stick their nose in literally every political aspect. And frankly, people are just tired of it. They don't care about these celebrities and them shoving their opinions when we didn't ask for it. Whether it be done at the Grammys or elsewhere, or during election season. These people aren't paid to tell us about their policy positions or their political analyses. These people are paid to do one thing. And Taylor Swift's case, she's an artist that makes music. In other cases, they're actors. We do not need the woke celebrity culture. And not only is it because Americans don't want to hear their opinion, I think it extends beyond that. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we, as a country, and as I've covered in several other streams already, we're not doing well economically. We're not doing well in the job market. We're struggling by the policies that have been put up against us, whether it be open border policy or job security or even the H-1B visa program that has been impacting us directly and inadvertently even impacting things like affordability of groceries or the housing market. We are genuinely struggling. And yet we have to sit there and listen to one of the wealthiest people in our country wag her finger at us and tell us when, you know, we're being politically incorrect. And frankly, Americans are just sick of it, as they should be. And of course, this was a primarily male event, and that just adds another layer of hilarity to it. They don't really care about Taylor Swift or her opinions. This is just a video here of President Trump arriving in New Orleans to attend the Super Bowl. Once again, like I'd stated, this is the first time that an American U.S. sitting president has attended the Super Bowl during his term. So in a way, Trump has made history. It's not huge, but it is pretty fun to witness. And again, he is just trying to message to the people that he is a man of the people. He wants to be of the people, and he's trying to embody that. He is the avatar of the people and the consensus of the United States. So he understands that. So that's why I think that he in part attended the Super Bowl. Let's see if we can fast forward.
Most people
we have
have
an
no
ad,
clue.
as usually happens on my show. Here we go. Do we see him come out here? Hold on a second. There he is. With his classic red tie, lumbering down from the jet. There he goes. Rainy day in New Orleans, huh? So wonderful stuff. But like I was saying, how this is kind of funny. This article has come up as a response to the utmost hilarity that Taylor Swift was booed, because let's be real, it is funny, but establishmentarians and leftists alike don't want you to take enjoyment out of that and take away a positive experience or a positive inclination to seeing us literally defame our elites. They want us to be horrified from the prospect, and this is why this glamour article was written, and I just thought this was funny. People were sharing it online. Just look at this title. Why Taylor Swift getting booed at the Super Bowl was even more chilling. Even more chilling than you think. From my seat at the Super Bowl, the crowd's disparate reactions to Swift and the Trump felt like a chilling microcosm of our culture. Let's read this together. Since Donald Trump took office, there has been several times I felt chilled by the rapid increase of misogyny seeping in our culture. By watching Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl booed by a crowd of thousands on Sunday night was a new low. It was just a football game, people might say. Or Swift, who was famously dating Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis, I don't know who he is, nor do I care, got heckled by some rowdy Eagles fans excited to be at the biggest sporting event of the year. So don't take it too seriously. They're trying to frame this as just an Eagles fan event. By the way, I just want to put out there, Trump also was there for the Chiefs, okay? And I do want to say that that's the wrong one. We'll get to that story in a minute. By the way, Leo was also for the Chiefs. Just want to put that out there. Leo wishes everyone a happy Super Bowl Sunday. Go Chiefs. It's lame to hate the Super Bowl. Anyway, there's a picture of Leo. I had to censor him just for safety reasons and precautions. I also don't want to have pornography on Twitter. I know people have been complaining about that, so I made sure to make this an appropriate photo for you guys. But just putting it out there, Leo is a Chiefs fan. But anyway, continuing. But I was there at the game. When Swift's face appeared on the Jumbotron, an almost instant and distinctly male dissent erupted from around me. Swift, of course, was there to support her boyfriend and was far from the only celebrity in attendance. In fact, the screen showed a new famous person, from Paul McCartney to Anne Hathaway to Lady Gaga. There was a big attendance of celebrities at this Super Bowl. Nearly every time there was a break in the play with virtually no response from the crowd. Swift, on the other hand, was different. I wonder why. Is it just because that she is dating that Travis guy? Or is it something more? Maybe it's because that Swift had a really strong hand in promoting the Kamala campaign when she was running. But anyway, as soon as she appeared on the screen, the crowd seemed to delight in jeering and heckling, and the mood shift was palpable. I watched it in real time as Swift, alongside her friend Ice Spice, Took I can't. Aren't people saying Ice Spice is like the most attractive woman right now? Took in response her brow furrowing in confusion and then apparent discomfort. Looking at the camera, she distinctly said, "What is going on?" And girl, same, because we were all wondering what the hell was happening. I wasn't wondering. I knew very well what was happening. People just don't like her. She's not likable anymore, especially since her comments during the last election cycle. She made herself unequivocally unlikable. The thing with celebrities is that they do have a massive platform. They do have influence over the culture. So they do utilize that for causes that they think are, probably beneficial to take part in. So I understand where they're coming from on that front. If you have a massive platform, you want to use it for good. The problem is that when you do put yourself in the world of politics, and when you do basically, share your opinion, you should expect some level of pushback, okay? I get pushback all the time, and I'm a little person. Can you imagine, as a celebrity with the heights of what Taylor Swift is, of course she's going to get pushback. People don't like her. She's on the world stage. So when she's going to go on a public event like this, after making the comments that she has made, and I guess it's partly in due part with her dating Travis, of course she's going to get hecklers. And I mean, let's be real. People are sick of this. People are sick of the woke celebrity culture telling us what we should believe. People don't like that. So to frame this as a misogynistic culture or a byproduct of female hating, the female hating aspect of their patriarchal system, it's just ludicrous. And it's quite silly. And that's why I wanted to read this article, because it's quite comedic. Anyway, let's continue on. Perhaps the moment would have felt less visceral if not for the fact that less than an hour earlier the crowd had exploded, this time with applause, to see Donald Trump on the same screen. And this is why I want to highlight this part. Notice how in the beginning of the article they're trying to frame that it was just Eagle fans that booed her. But it says right here, the same crowd that have exploded or booed her have exploded with applause for Trump. Make that make sense for me if Trump was there to support the Chiefs. As an image of the president, stone-faced and standing in salute, was shown to the crowd during John Baptiste's national anthem performance, the roar of approval and cheers was deafening. Of course, there were those in the crowd who booed the president and cheered for Swift as well, but from my vantage point, it was clear what the overall sentiment was. Exactly. You don't, Glamour magazine, you don't have to tell us that was from your vantage point. We know what the American people are experiencing and feeling right now. Okay, let's continue on here. To me, the desperate reactions felt like a message that the Super Bowl, one of the biggest cultural events in the country, bread and circuses, in fact, has been reclaimed by Trump and the type of toxic masculinity he appears to be the beacon of, and he and his supporters seem to be living for it. Cry me a river. Just look at the president's response shortly after he left the game. Not only did he acknowledge that Swift was booed by the crowd, he delighted in it. Of course he delighted in it. This is Trump. Trump rewards the people that like him. And he obviously publicly disapproves of people that dislike him. That's what Trump does. It has nothing to do with misogyny. It has nothing to do with our patriarchal system that we live in. It has nothing to do with rape culture or a woman-hating culture. Trump just likes people that like him, and he disapproves of people that dislike him. That's how he rolls. That's who Trump is. Pay attention to the way he speaks about people. Even when a person is clearly in the wrong, if they support him, he'll like them. That's just who he is as a person. Okay, let's continue. The only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift, Trump, the president, wrote in Truth Social. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. Indeed it is, Mr. Trump. By calling her out, Trump looked to play by the now standard internet misogyny playbook. This article, it wasn't enough. These people really look absolutely ridiculous, okay? Any sane person can look at this article and really understand what's going on here politically, culturally. And so for this article to paint this as a byproduct of the patriarchal system that we live in is just, is hilarious. or that we even live in a patriarchal system, given that women run a large portion of the major institutions in America, which is probably why we're not doing so well in the country, but that's besides the point. We all got normalized to this sort of conduct in 2016, when the president mocking his apparent enemies on Twitter became a nearly daily occurrence. Surely he has something better to do, right? What is the point of that comment? But it's still worth calling out how gross and frankly ridiculous this sort of conduct is. When the Twitter rant becomes real life, in the form of a stadium full of thousands of people, it's chilling. Online bullies of 2016 are now, in 2025, very real. Is this article going to claim that rape culture still exists too? We're importing people from countries that actually do have a rape culture, by the way. And yet people like this will write these articles saying that we have a rape culture in our country now, but then we'll posit that the programs that we have in place to import people from actual rape culture countries is a good thing. Anyways, she's trying, I'm assuming a woman wrote this, right? Stephanie, yes. This person, she's trying very hard to make this sound scary when it isn't. Okay, let's read the last paragraph here. In an era where Trump is single-handedly dismantling decades of diversity, equity, and inclusion for the generations of women, people of color, and queer... Hold on a second, I need... In an era where Trump single-handedly dismantling decades of diversity, equity, and inclusion that generations of women, people of color, and queer people have fought for, the Super Bowl felt like a microcosm of a much larger problem. Not only does it feel like Trump and his ilk want Swift out of football, it's like they want to return our entire country to a time when they were in control, had all the power, and could say whatever they wanted without repercussions. And hopefully, if we get to that point, we would have a functioning country again. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Thank you, Stephanie. What a joke this article is. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I wanted to clown on that one for a little bit. And there's a picture of Leo. So, what do you guys think of that? Love your choice of articles and topics. Thank you so much, Mr. Libsurdi. I can't say your name, but thank you. I really appreciate that. No corn dogs on stream, exactly. So, anyways, yeah, people like that, the individuals like the one that have written this article are, I think, the last of their kind. I really do believe that this looks absolutely ridiculous, and I really do believe that most Americans see that it looks ridiculous. I've seen screenshots of that headline spread all over Twitter. I believe I spread it as well, because people are pointing and laughing. They really are seeing the absurdity and the levels that these people will reach to paint our president or to paint other figureheads within the right movement as monsters, when genuinely they're just making slight alterations to systems that clearly haven't been working and have been directly affecting us and impacting us and actually making life more difficult for us. And you have people like Taylor Swift that is really at the top of the elite pyramid. Once again, like I said, wagging her fingers at us, telling us what we're doing is wrong and we should be ashamed of ourselves for trying to actually rectify the systems that we live in, and saying that we're wrong for doing so. And obviously, culturally, people are going to have an overt reaction to the gross negligence of people like Taylor Swift make these comments whilst people are actually genuinely struggling to get a home, to buy groceries, or to even get a job in some cases. And it's for the very systems and ideals that people like Taylor Swift posit and saying that are good, like DEI systems, or DEI policies, I mean, that prevent us from actually succeeding. Anyways, moving forward, did you guys hear about what happened with Kanye West? I have to talk about this. I feel like I'm obligated to talk about this. So, actually, before I do that, I want to pull up the ad. Kanye West ad. Excuse me.
What's up, guys?
Here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly touch on this because this is not a topic I really care to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it because everyone's talking about it. And this show is, in fact, called Culturama, where we talk about things like culture, and this has a great impact on American culture. Did you guys see the Yeezy commercial? I didn't. I couldn't believe it was real. But this commercial was aired by Kanye West. He spent millions on a strange Super Bowl ad for Yeezy.com, then wiped his website clean, leaving just one item for sale, a swastika t-shirt.
Like all the money for the commercial.
This was the ad.
On these new teeth. So, once again, I had to shoot.
She's like in a dentist's office. Jeez, okay.
On the iPhone, go to Yeezy.com.
Okay, so that was a commercial.
What's up,
Hold
guys?
on, let me make my iPad quieter because you're getting notifications. So that was a commercial that he put out there, and let's read this article together on Variety. Kanye West's Yeezy website down after selling swastika t-shirts. Shopify says West violated our terms amid backlash. I take it back, you guys. Cancel culture isn't dead. I'm kidding. This is probably a good reason to do it. I have my own opinions on this, and I'll share them promptly. Let me just read this article with you guys. Kanye West's Yeezy. Interesting how Variety is calling him Kanye West and not by his chosen name. Is no longer online amid controversy over the rapper selling a swastika shirt on the merchandise website. Actually, let me look it up for you guys so you can see it. Actually, let me go to Yeezy.com. Yep, it's completely wiped. Yeezy swastika t-shirt. I don't really know why I'm pulling this up for you guys. I think you can guess what it looks like. It's just a white t-shirt with a swastika on it, but that's what we're looking at. So he wiped everything clean from the website. My iPad is still going off. I don't know if you guys can hear the notifications, but I'm just gonna put it in this drawer. There we go. So like I said, he wiped everything clean from his website, and he just had the swastika on. I think the title was HH-01. So that happened. And and so now Shopify has completely deplatformed him. Understandably so. But anyways, visitors of the Yeezy website are now met with an error message saying messages that read, something went wrong and this store is unavailable. The site has used e-commerce platform Shopify to complete its transactions. All merchants are responsible for following the rules of our platform. This merchant did not engage in authentic commerce practices and violated our terms, so we removed them from Shopify. Shopify told Variety in a statement about the website being pulled. So I don't really need to read the rest. I think you guys get the gist of the story. Let me just read this one part for you. West's website being pulled offline follows in the footsteps of his X profile being deactivated a few days prior when the rapper was posting anti-Semitic, misogynistic, and pornographic posts. West declared, "I'm a Nazi," and called Hitler, quote, "so fresh," days before his account was deactivated. His X posts were widely condemned, by anti-hate organizations such as the ADL and the American Jewish Committee. Amid the anti-Semitic rants, celebrities such as David Schwimmer called on X owner Elon Musk to remove the rapper from the social media platform. So, yes, I want to highlight one point for you guys here, and I'm not going to share my opinions on this story because I think, frankly, this individual is very, very mentally unstable, and I don't think that Kanye West is acting out of strategy here. I think that he is off his medication and he is acting quite irrationally. However, I will say this. Do you find it rather interesting and odd that all of this has transpired just a day or so, and I'm talking about his tweets too, just a day or so after the Marco Ilez incident with Doge? Really interesting how the timing works on that. When we did have a big conversation online and culturally about the death of cancel culture and how cancel culture really has no place in American politics right now, especially as it concerns people utilizing, like what Marco did, an Anon account, and how he was a young man. He did make a mistake or do various mistakes. There was various tweets. But how J.D. Vance's comments and Trump's comments essentially altered our very concept understanding of what it means to perform professionally in the political sector, as well as just defying the extremism of cancel culture in a professional setting. And it's interesting how following those conversations, we are... And after, like, everyone has made their consensus that, yeah, perhaps cancel culture is a little dead. Professionally, we should have for some leeway, especially for younger individuals. Mistakes do happen, and that's okay. All of a sudden, we have someone like Kanye West coming on and literally posting the most heinous things you can imagine, and then pay for an ad that leads people to a website with a swastika t-shirt. Now, I'm not saying Ye is doing this on purpose. I don't think he is capable of doing that. I don't think he has a capacity to do that. I think that this individual is very mentally unstable. And frankly, he needs to be on some severe medication. But who is handling him and who okayed this project? I really want you guys to ask yourselves this, because a Super Bowl ad, as far as I'm aware, is a really big deal. And I'm sure you have to go through a lot of hoops to get it on. On the back end of it, someone at some point of this process must have helped in the decision making and said, yeah, let me look at the website. Let me see if it's, up and going and everything looks all right. Am I really to believe that Kanye West himself did all of this? I mean, he did film it on a phone, on an iPhone, right? So I guess it was haphazardly done as far as the ad is concerned, but someone had to have okayed this, right? I'm sure of it. And at no point did anyone question and say before it was put on air on TV for millions of people to watch that there is a swastika t-shirt on the website. No. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't like being a conspiracy theorist, but I can't help but think that following the conversations that we had concerning cancel culture, they released the Kanye. They released the Hitler Kanye and said, release him. Now is the time to end the conversation of cancel culture and show them what cancel culture is really about and how we still need it in our culture today. I'm just putting it out there. Something to consider. It is something to consider, truly. Psyop writes, Aaron James 001. Exactly. I can't help but think that Ye is being used as a utensil for some kind of psyop operation. Well, operation's in the word, isn't it? Some kind of psychological operation. I can't help but think that because the timing was just a little bit too good. It could be a coincidence, and I'm sure coincidences happen, but I am more of the belief that in circumstances like this, when there's a nationwide conversation being had, I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think that something about Kanye, I don't know who his handlers are right now. I mean, it reminds me of the time when he had that meal with Donald Trump and Nick Fuentes, when Donald Trump didn't even know who Nick Fuentes was. There's some kind of strategy behind all of this that was being done back then and is being done now. And obviously this thing with big balls. I know it wasn't really big balls, but with Mark Alez and the big ball situation with JD Vance coming out and saying that this is okay and that cancel culture isn't a thing anymore. Not really, but you know what I'm trying to say here. How collectively we are all considering that perhaps cancel culture doesn't have the teeth that it once used to have. And all of a sudden Kanye goes out and does this. That's when he sent out his tweets and got banned off Twitter. And that's, you know, when he released his commercial for the Super Bowl and he had the swastika t-shirts. They're trying to show us that we still need cancel culture because we have crazy people like this. Steelbringer wrote MTG was behind that. Perhaps. Makes sense. I do know that MTG was also... If you're talking about the dinner with Nick Fuentes and Trump, Steelbringer, if you're talking about that, that would make sense. I know that Milo Yiannopoulos was also behind that, and he was also working with MTG at the time. Like I said, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. It's just something to consider. Anyway, did you guys see this on the news? Did I just exit out of it? My goodness. Hold on a second. Speaking about PSYOPs, someone shared this with me and I thought this was interesting. It's actually not related to this topic at all, but so Ilhan Omar did marry her brother and said she would do what she had to do to get him papers to keep him in the US, reveals Somali community leader. So this individual linked the article right here. So here we go. Are you guys ready? Where's my, I do not have the Muslim sound effect right now. Darn, that would have been really good. Anyways, Ilhan Omar told friends years ago that the man who went on to become her second husband was in fact her brother. The Daily Mail has confirmed that. Are you ready for me to read the name? Abdihakim Osman. Abdihakim Osman. Okay, wasn't too bad. As the first person to go on record to speak on how Omar said she wanted to get her brother papers so that he could stay in the US. It has long been rumored that Omar and Ahmed Elmi are siblings, but because of the lack of paperwork in war towards Somalia, proof has never been uncovered. Osman said she needed to get the papers for her brother to go to school. We all thought she was getting papers to allow him to stay in the country. Omar was married to her second husband, Elmi, in 2009 by a Christian minister, although she is Muslim. She was the first to marry Ahmed Hirsi in 2002 in a Muslim ceremony before they split in 2008, but later had another child. This is getting pretty complicated. So anyway, Squad Congresswoman Ilhan Omar told her friends years ago that the man who went on to become her second husband was her brother. And now, for the first time, one of those friends has come forward to reveal exactly how Omar and Ahmed Elmi scandalized the Somali community in Minneapolis. Abdihakim Osman is the first person to go on record to speak on how Omar said she wanted to get her brother papers so she could stay in the United States at the time when she was married to her first husband, Ahmed Hirsi. But hardly anyone realized that meant marrying him. No one knew there had been a wedding until the media turned up the marriage certificate years later, Osman, 40, exclusively told the Daily Mail. Osman's revelations are sure to renew calls for an investigation into the Minnesota freshman representative who has repeatedly refused to answer questions on her marriage to Elmi. So I didn't know this was a thing with Ilhan Omar, but apparently there have been rumors that she had wed her brother. I was not aware of this. Okay, this is news to me, but I guess it's been confirmed, and this certainly does not help the stereotypes that are thrown upon the Islamic community here in the United States. So that is just something to talk about. Once again, speaking of rape culture, by the way, or incest culture, her spokesman told Daily Mail that Omar, 37, does not comment on her family or personal life. The congresswoman is focused on her work and her constituents sent her Washington to sent her that. I'm sorry, cannot read. The congresswoman is focused on the work her constituents sent her to Washington to accomplish, she said. Omar married her first husband Hirsi in 2002 in a Muslim ceremony that, like many in the immigrant community, was not registered within the state. Their first child, Isra, was born the following year, and the second followed. People began noticing that Ilan and Southside Hirsi were often with a very effeminate young guy, Osman said, who spoke in Somali. He was very feminine in a way that he dressed. He would wear lipstick and pink clothes and very, very short shorts in the summer. People started whispering about him. Okay, well, so I just figured that was interesting. I'm not going to call this degenerate because it's not exactly that. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing. And this is a culture that we are okay with importing into our country. Because what you'll come to see is that, let me look at this. This will be a great, and this should have been an offensive statistics segment. Because as far as I'm aware, is that incest is actually quite prevalent in Islamic communities. Islam communities, incest rates. Cousin marriage in the Middle East. Yeah, so here's a chart. So, consanguinity, I cannot pronounce this word. It's the word for incest. That's what it means. But here is a map, just whoops. Hold on. Here's a map detailing what I'm talking about. So this is a global prevalence of consanguinity. I don't know this word. This means marrying marrying your kin and kinship, basically incest. I apologize for my low IQ not being able to read that. But this is a global prevalence of essentially incest marriages up to second cousins or closer. So it could be anything from second cousin or closer. It could be even up to siblings. And this is a prevalence map of where this occurs globally. And I don't really have to explain to you guys how we are seeing this primarily happen in the Middle East and parts of Northern Africa as well. Okay? So obviously, as far as sub-Saharan Africa is concerned, I'm pretty sure that's due to a lack of data and investigation. So I don't think we have clear numbers on this region. The same could also be said of Southeast Asia as well, or the islands. I really do think that has to do with lack of data. But regardless, we can just ignore those two parts of the world. We do have data from other parts of the world, as you can see, and it is highly concentrated around this belt right here. So this is a cultural endeavor. It's not so much a question of degeneracy or lack of judgment on Elon's part, although you could certainly still say that it's her individual judgment that is at question here for many other reasons. But it's a cultural thing. It's a religious aspect as well, I do believe. And for us to be importing people from these countries just goes to show how clearly devastating it is. This would be for us culturally. And we have seen this happen in other parts of Western Europe, especially in Scandinavia as well, during the Syrian refugee crisis, how rapes have completely skyrocketed. It's simply because within their culture, they really don't treat women or approach women in the same way that we do in Europe. So this is why countries like Sweden had major issues with rape, for ever since 2017. But I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. Okay, I'm going to go on a quick commercial break. Pakistan is the incest capital of the world, Aaron James writes. If that is true, that's sad, but it also makes sense, Aaron James. It's high, yes. Okay, I will be right back, everyone. I'm going to be going on a quick commercial break. I will be pulling up the I'll be pulling up the next few stories. Rowhouse asks, where are we in the Leo goal? Rowhouse, let me count that. I believe we're at 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 40. The goal today is $60. And if we have $60, we unlock the beast, and I will get Leo out. Not that one. There we go. We will unlock Leo out. So the ransom price is at $60 today. So we're at 40 right now on the Leo meter. So we're pretty close. But I'll be right back on commercial break. I'll be pulling up the next few stories. You guys just hang tight, and I'll be playing your favorite commercial.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah. Who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
We are back. back live on Culturama. Excuse me for the headband. The hair was getting rather annoying to be going on my face, so I decided to have a headband on. How are we doing on the chat, everyone? Row House, Daniela, do a stream with glasses. That's gonna take a lot of donations, Steelbringer. Listen, I'm this close from streaming with glasses, okay? Because I am running out of contacts. I just ordered a batch. They should be in the next few days. If they don't come in on time, I'm literally on a thread here, okay? Because I'm working with only one pair and they already have a tear in them. And I hate wearing glasses in public. I really do. I don't want to do that. I know you guys probably want to see that. So if fate declares it, I may just have to stream with glasses. I really don't want to do that on the day before Valentine's Day stream. I really don't. Also, I hope you guys appreciate the Valentine's Day decorations I have behind me. Just have a little dog in the back. And I don't know if you guys can see that. The dog's right over my shoulder right there. Dogs have a lot of symbolic potency. What am I trying to say here? Dogs have a lot of symbolic potency for Valentine's Day, or what we refer to as Valentine's Day. It's actually Lupercalia, but I will be talking about that on my next stream on Thursday. Yes, thank you, Steelbringer. Thank you for saying it's cute. Yeah, I do like to make it, have holiday themes. Row House, I saw your comment on reaching the goal. We are $20 away from reaching the Leo Unleash the Beast goal. I know that Leo, the Unleash the Beast segment, has its fans and its detractors. But if we do get $20 more in donations, I will have to bring out my dysgenic creature of a dog. But anyways, I think you guys are really going to like the Valentine's Day stream. It won't be had on Valentine's Day evening. It will be had on Thursday, the day before Valentine's Day. I apologize. I can't stream on Valentine's Day as much as I want to. As much as I want to stream for you guys, I cannot stream on Valentine's Day, but I'll be streaming the day before and the day after on Saturday as well. That's why I just call it Valentine's Day week. So I will be doing that. Anyways, so speaking of Valentine's Day, everyone, and love and sex, we have a lot to talk about. Hold on, let me get my transition in. About this, okay? OnlyFans. Now, I have been seeing this make the rounds on Twitter, and I felt like it was in my best interest to talk about this with you guys. I don't know if you saw this, but Russell Brand had interviewed Lily Phillips. If you guys don't remember, she is the one that slept with, I think it was 100 men, but then she has been outshined by another OnlyFans, and I say this loosely, model, who slept with, I believe it was 1,000. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And then a little bit later, afterwards, Lily Phillips appears on Russell Brand's show, and this is what he had to say to her. So let's take a listen.
You are a child of God. That's what I want to say to you. That you are special and that you are sacred and you deserve to be cherished and treasured in every aspect of your life. Do you know that about yourself, that you are special?
I guess I don't think of myself as special, just another girl. I'm not religious or anything like that, so I don't really read into it.
One day you will read into it, Lily. I want you to know that there is a path for you and that you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And I know you aren't doing anything you don't want to do. But if ever you find yourself in that position, then know that there is a path and a light for you.
Yes, she's found herself in that position and many more positions following afterwards.
Thank you.
You are a child of...
So anyways, this has brought into attention the idea of... how do I put this tactfully? This has spurred on a conversation about redemption and whether or not certain enclaves on the internet or political groups on the internet should accept these people with open arms, right? And yes, Aaron James, it is a very sad situation indeed. But we got to talk about it because OnlyFans is a big part of our culture right now. There's been a lot of discussion about pornography as well and how this affects the psyches, and not only of the people consuming it, but also the people participating in it. Now, I have my own opinions on that, and I'm not going to talk about the banning of or the promotion of pornography or OnlyFans, but what I will be talking about, because clearly it's degenerate, I don't think there's anything interesting to be said there. What I do want to talk about is the potential redemption arc grift. Now, this is what I've said about this subject. On my Twitter, I wrote, "The redemption grift is the newest edition of petty swindling in the right-wing media movement. OnlyFans has saturated the market with not safe for work video sharing," which is true. I will be reading about that moving forward. "It isn't lucrative anymore. But do you know what is lucrative? Amassing a new fan base in a growing movement that is still largely male." And that's where we are finding ourselves in right now. Because this girl is going to do this. I assure you, in a few months, when her OnlyFans grift runs dry, and the competition she can't face up to anymore, because consider this, we are dealing with a perishable service here. Sex work, if you want to call it work, is a perishable service, and she is a perishable item. Unfortunately, and this is just a case for the industry, is that she will be up against younger girls, and her appeal will wane. It's a very short-lived career, if you want to call it that. And so she won't be very successful for very long, especially since Lily Phillips was just outshined by the Bonnie character. And I forgot her name. The other lady who slept with 10 times as many men as she did. So when her finances run dry from that, she very well do what Nala Ray did. And for those that don't remember who Nala Ray is, Nala Ray was this girl who was basically converted to Christianity. This happened like last spring. She also was an OnlyFans model, was a sex worker, and then she decided to convert to Christianity, make it entirely popular, and then she was basically went on Michael Knowles' show and had a major boost in popularity since that decision. And I think Nala Ray sort of set the stage for what sex workers, prostitutes essentially, and OnlyFans models, quote, can do to maintain the grift even after they are no longer useful for the industry. And this is particularly dangerous. Well, dangerous is the wrong word here. I suppose it's particularly exploitative in right-wing online circles is because those circles are still primarily male, Christian, and naive. Look at this. OnlyFans star Lily Phillips, the one that was interviewed by Russell Brand here, makes a major U-turn after former pal Bonnie Blue, that's the girl I was trying to remember, slept with over 1,000 men in 12 hours. Lily Phillips has reportedly ditched her bid to sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours after Blue Bonnie pipped her to it. The OnlyFans star, 23, from Derbyshire, has previously bragged that she would try to break from the world record for betting, that's a good way to put it, the most men in a single day this year. The disturbing stunt has been due to take place this month, but it was derailed when rival adult performer Blue claimed to have slept with over 1,000 men in just 12 hours on January 11th. Obviously, Lily doesn't want to do that anymore. Lily is in the United States now and has taken an extended break from work. I wonder why, according to a well-placed source. This friend revealed that the world record bid is not happening right now. Lily is in America, and she's not due back in the UK until next month. She's taking a little brief hiatus here. There are laws about what she can do over there, so she's not working. She's just having meetings and stuff. She's 25, which, like I said, is probably starting to get old for this industry. Later said that the stunt left her feeling sorest she's ever felt. This was the porn star Nala Ray.
Has unsubscribed.
But people say you kept your OnlyFans site up.
Yeah, so Jordan can shed some light on this too. So what happened in the beginning was when I had told him originally I'm deleting my OnlyFans, I had full intent to delete my OnlyFans. I even showed him we were right next to each other when I pushed the delete button back in like January. And what happened was I had so many subscribers, OnlyFans won't allow you to close your account until every single subscriber has unsubscribed. Like they physically have to push the button. But
Yeah,
what
so
they don't
this
know
is
is
her
that
justifying why she
people
didn't delete
sometimes
her
are
account
very
right away after she converted to Christianity. Hold on a second. And the reason for this, and this is what I speculated, you guys, is that I was doubting Nala Ray's conversion, and I don't regret it because I really do believe that once you dedicate yourself to an industry like this, it really does change you in ways that I don't think any of us can really come back from. I think it leaves a really big impression on you psychologically. I am a Christian and I do believe in redemption. And I think if she wants to stop that lifestyle and convert to Christianity, that is fine. That's good for her. But as members of the public, I think it's fair to scrutinize that, and I think it's fair to question it, because undergoing a lifestyle like that for as long as Nala Ray did, or as long as Lily Phillips has done, it does change you dramatically. There is something fundamentally wrong and unhealthy about a woman that does work like this. It's not natural. It's beyond not just healthy. It's not natural for a woman to be compelled to do this. Something's happened to her, whether it be in her childhood or in her adolescence, that fundamentally changed her and broke her, that is frankly imparable in not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not easily fixed. And she can convert to Christianity, and she should stop that lifestyle, and it will benefit her drastically, but she is never going to change from being a broken person to a unbroken person. She may repair parts of herself and her psyche, but will never be the same. So for her to go on from this grift to saying that she's completely converted and that we should take her at her word for it and completely believe her, I think is foolish, because we are dealing with a person that has acted in unnatural ways for so long. And it is very easy to consider that perhaps she is just jumping from one grift to another. And so this is why I was skeptical of Nala Ray's conversion. I don't know what she's doing now. I know she sold merch following this conversion. But it's come, more evidence has come out that she was a pastor's daughter. She left OnlyFans, and she's gotten a new boyfriend. This is, again, Nala Ray. Nala Ray is a content creator working as an orthopedic surgery scheduler before a man recruited her for online site OnlyFans. Okay, pretty sad story. But I can't even tell you how much my life has changed since converting. Everything in my life has just become this room where I can observe it. But I want to get to the part where she talks about her boyfriend. Okay. OnlyFans has blown up both in its number of creators and consumers since 2020. A reality Nala says is exacerbated by social media. It's playing a really bad role for young people because it's just truly putting it up on the pedestal to make you think that you can have an amazing life. While the majority of social media content surrounding OnlyFans advertises the potential earnings of its top 1%, which is true, this has come out as somewhat of a scandal. OnlyFans was misconstruing what you could actually make on the website, which is actually quite damaging for a lot of girls and their livelihoods and their reputations. Which generates 33% of its total revenue. The median income for a model on that site averages to only $180 a month. So it's not even like a side gig, really. It's just a little project you can make. I mean, geez, I make more than this, I think, sometimes in my stream. Like, that's not a lot. While her journey forged through a reconnection with Christ changed the young adult's trajectory, the OnlyFans model's website still remains with a single post, a matter she says is due to delay in tax documentation. So she made a lot of tweets about this, and she made TikToks about this. While some users wrote that the TikToker is beyond saving, I am included as one of them. Others stated that they're happy to see people choose Jesus. A comment with over 17,000 likes said, if this change is genuine, then you're doing it for you, and then don't let anyone hold you back. God forgives all who truly seek them. Another user's statements with over 18,000 likes reads, to anyone that says beyond saving, go open up your Bible and read the Gospels. Okay. But I'm trying to find where in this article talks about her boyfriend, because I did. She has just reconnected with her from her estranged parents, because I did find out that she actually did get a boyfriend around this time, which suggests that the conversion would also be related to her getting a boyfriend, which, you know, that's not bad. It's good to have a partner that leads you towards making good things and making good decisions. But the point of what I'm trying to draw here is that if you're going to make this a public decision, you should expect scrutiny, and people are obviously going to question you. It's the same thing I said with the Taylor Swift situation. If you're going to put yourself into a situation where you are going to iterate your opinions, whether they be religious in nature or political in nature, you should expect some scrutiny. And if you are really going to tailor your life around Christ and you're going to convert, it's best to do it perhaps privately, because that's where it actually matters. It doesn't matter. No one cares if you just delete your OnlyFans. You'll have some people ask you questions and you can tell them privately, but for the most part, it should be a private matter. And so this is why I think there's an aspect to this. This is kind of grifty, because they still want to maintain their relevancy, obviously. And so they do so in a way that they could still grift off of and get the attention of and the admiration of those within the movement that they're trying to curry, which in this case, as far as Michael Knowles is concerned, would probably be the right-wing movement. Okay, and then, but this is a point that I'm also trying to draw home as well, is that OnlyFans has completely oversaturated the market for video sharing as far as not safe for work content is concerned. And I found this article that details this. OnlyFans was once a lucrative business for independent creators, specifically those who made and produced their own adult content. It's a subscription-based service that was launched in 2016, not explicitly for adult pleasure, but it was for various things. Actually, OnlyFans was made for any exclusive content. It wasn't just for adult pleasure like this says, but it eventually became a pornography site. One OnlyFans creator spoke with Baller Alert, which is where I got this article, explaining that since then the site has become overcrowded. It specifically started with COVID. I started out of necessity when I got COVID 4 years ago. I think now the game is too oversaturated. Unless you have a really niche market or a solid fan base, you'll probably just do it for pocket change at this point. During the pandemic in 2020, there was a lockdown boom where a lot of girls and some guys made accounts. It was then that the site started to see a staggering rise at over 500% of growth in revenue. OnlyFans not only offered a way to keep people entertained during stay-at-home and lockdown policies, but it was also a means of survival for those who were out of work. However, even then, there were signs of the OnlyFans bubble would soon burst. A creator said to The Guardian in 2020 of December that, quote, "It was hard to get people to pay attention to you because everyone and their mother was on this app." These sentiments were felt amongst the OnlyFans industry when big-time celebrities began joining the app, crowding the space, once again designated for lesser-known creators. So, like I said in my original tweet here, OnlyFans has single-handedly oversaturated not just pornography, but just video sharing in general and adult content creation in general. And so even bigger stars in the industry like Lily Phillips, who have been outshined by competitors, is losing touch, and she's probably not getting in the money that she once did. So I really do foresee the redemption grift arc happen, particularly within the right-wing spaces, for these OnlyFans models and sex workers and basically online prostitutes just come out and say that they've changed and they want to take on a more traditional or trad lifestyle so they can still maintain a platform and a fan base to some degree. Former Disney star Bella Thorne was one of the major celebs to join the platform in 2020. So, like this article is saying, since 2020, OnlyFans, as well as TikTok, as video sharing platforms have just completely blossomed and bloomed. And there's going to be a major burst for other content creators on that site where it's very difficult to break through in the industry and actually make a successful lifestyle. And here's another article, lastly, that outlines this on The Guardian. It says, quote, everyone and their mom is on it. OnlyFans booms in popularity during the pandemic. And there's a lady there wearing a pink leotard. Every single regular job that I had, I was getting sexually harassed in some way, this person says. I would either get fired or I'd have to leave once I reported it. The pandemic hit. All reimagining gigs dried up. I was like, okay, why not make money off of this and have control over my body? So Bella, this individual, did what thousands of other women did around the world at the time of the lockdowns. She opened up an account on OnlyFans. A very sane decision, Bella. Well done. Obviously, women are very good at making decisions. The site, which has boomed in popularity over the past year, is technically open for everyone, from personal traders to artists to cooks. However, it's best known for one thing: nudes. A spokeswoman for OnlyFans told The Guardian that there are more than 1 million creators worldwide as of the time of this article, by the way, which was a few years ago. 85 million registered users, and it paid out more than $2 billion globally this year. Bella uses her account to post herself naked or semi-nude and occasionally sells solo sex content for subscribers. So it takes hard work. Yeah, so 2020 was not the best year of judgment for many women and some men out there. Probably not the best idea to start an OnlyFans account, especially if you already have bad professional experiences. This will not help your reputation, Bella. But I don't know, what do you guys think of the right-wing OnlyFans? I'm sorry, the OnlyFans to Christian right-wing pipeline. Again, this is their calling card. If they want to convert, that's up to them. If they want to change their style, I think that's great. However, I think that we should be wary of the potential grifters that will fall through in this pipeline. Irreparable, writes Grizz Cheese. Thank you, Grizz Cheese. I was very much struggling with that word. Like I say in this show, English is not my first language. I will stumble on some words, so please forgive me for that. A lot of people, when I was growing up, thought that I actually had a speech impediment. That's not exactly the case. I just have this silly accent. Some people hear it, some don't, and sometimes I can't read things correctly. But yeah, that's what I will just struggle with saying some things and reading some things off here. Okay, you guys. Well, I have a lot more other stories to talk to you about. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on the thumbnail, I had thank you, Steelbringer. I appreciate that, hero. I'm good. Thank you. I had a picture of beagles on the thumbnail getting stabbed with shots. Do you guys remember the National Institutes of Health experiments, partly in due part with under Fauci's purview, how they experimented with beagles? That is what I want to talk about with you guys today, because it sounds like there are going to be major cutbacks with the National Institutes of Health under the Trump administration. And leftists are, of course, losing their minds over it. So I'm going to be talking about that. Thank you, Nomad John. He says it sounds nice. I do appreciate that. If you're talking about my voice, I hope you're talking about my voice and not the NIH cutbacks. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Barney Stiles writes, I listened to that Knowles interview with Nala Ray. She grossed $14 million, but after fees and taxes, she only netted about $5 million. That's still a lot of money. Grizz Cheese, I had a beagle as a child. I'm sorry, Grizz Cheese. We'll be talking about the beagle experiments here in a little bit. But before I go off on my commercial break, I do have one thing to tell you guys before I go. We are only $20 away from the Unleash the Beast segment. We are $20 away from the $60 goal of unleashing my beast, Leo, the dysgenic dog. So that is something to consider moving forward. Also, if you haven't already, please attend the Grift Shop, the Cult Trauma Collection merchandise shop. You can get pillows. You can get coffee mugs. I actually want to go make more coffee for the rest of this show. But please consider joining and getting a coffee subscription on the shop. Share and like the stream. I will be right back. I'm going to be pulling up the next few articles here for you guys. I think you're going to really appreciate that because major changes are happening. We are cutting back. We are saving money. Donald Trump is trying to save America. Will he? We'll be back and I'll be talking about that. Stay tuned, everyone.
So bright, ideals clash in the night. Police stand side by side. Cultures collide, nowhere to hide. This meet dreams in the street. History on repeat. Our world's in a spin. Let the future begin.
Shining like a star in this atomic age, and brighter by far. Untouchable energy, it's a glowing affair. Ready and ready, I'll take you everywhere. I'm untouchable now, feel the power in the air. Radioactive rhythm, but stands without care. Electric and alive in this atomic embrace. Unstoppable now in this glowing space.
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty strong. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway. In the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean. We gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh what a sight. With values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright got me tight, and our hearts the same old fire. Day, oh yeah. We sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old vows and soul, that made baby and I'm not getting like a thought ain't not in this fast-paced world we could find. Traditions keep our hearts going wild, but you'll find in our hearts simple ways. We got it by the good old days.
All right, welcome back to Culturama. This is a death blow, people are saying. The National Institutes of Health is going to get billions cut back in research overhead funding. I'm going to listen to a clip of this news story here with you guys, so bear with me.
Research funding. Attorneys general in 22 states are now suing the Trump administration over the move, but it aims to set a lower cap on payments that universities rely on to cover overhead costs, equipment, maintenance, accounting, personnel. And while Republican senators have largely backed the Trump administration's moves to gut the federal government, what will happen when it hits their state's biggest employer? That is the question in the red state of Alabama, where cuts threaten the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which has received more than $1 billion in NIH funds in recent years. We're seeing similar funding fears in other states like Georgia, Nebraska, Wisconsin. Joining us, John Archibald, columnist at AL.com.
So major cuts are happening with the National Institute of Health, and whether or not you think this is great or bad, I think that it is at least necessary for us to be honest, or for them to be honest, and for us to take a look at where exactly that money is going. Yes, it is towards facility maintenance and, the obtaining of certain material goods that are necessary to conduct these experiments, but do I have to bring a Beaglegate for you guys to remind you that some of these experiments are just downright cruel and oftentimes unnecessary? First of all, before I get to that, I did see the donation. Thank you so much. Nomad Johnny for the $2. I see it. He writes, just wanted to hear you say Nomad Johnny again. Thank you, Nomad Johnny. I apologize, the Leo meter is still up. Let me fix that. But we're at $42. We're almost at the $60 goal of unleashing the beast. If we get $60, we are going to unleash the beast today. And I think you guys may want to see what he's wearing today. But anyways, thank you so much, Nomad Johnny. I do appreciate that. I will say your name one more time, Nomad Johnny. Thank you so much for the $2. And I did see people writing about a beagle being... Oh, wait a second. Row House? Row House, I see... Never mind. I completely misread it, Row House. I thought you gifted subs. That is my mistake. I thought you gifted subs. That was my mistake. I completely misread it. I see people writing... Someone has a 150-pound beagle in the chat. Is that correct? Barney Styles writes, I always wanted a beagle. My current mutt hound I got as a puppy, and from his collar and his mother's size, I expected him to be a beagle-sized, red-headed blue tick. He weighs 150 pounds. That is huge. That's like heavier than I am. That's crazy. Anyways, I have a Chihuahua, and he's not quite 150 pounds, but he might as well be because he's terribly heavy. But back to the story of the National Institute of Health cutbacks, because I do think this is important. Trump did tap this individual, Jay Bhatt. I'm gonna mispronounce his name, Bhattacharya, who was a major critic of the COVID lockdowns, to be the NIH director. So Jay still yet has to be confirmed to become the head of the NIH, but hopefully we can get some upstanding individuals to actually be in there. Obviously, Trump's judgment wasn't the best previously, especially with the appointment of people like Dr. Fauci. I do think, however, that Trump is a little bit more critical about who he chooses, but this article states that Donald Trump said that he would nominate Jay, and now he is a president, so he very well did. He still yet has to be confirmed. Jay is a health policy advisor and economist at Stanford University, and he was known to be an outspoken critic of the COVID-19 lockdowns. He should be the director of the National Institute of Health moving forward, but we will see. But he is working in tandem and coordination with Robert F. Kennedy, a vaccine skeptic. This article states that Trump nominated to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. So that is heading, hopefully that is heading towards the correct direction, and that we can make America healthy again under the purview of Robert F. Kennedy, as well as this Jay Bhattacharya individual, who it sounds like wants to work directly with Robert F. Kennedy. I do see the $1 donation. Thank you so much, Nomad Jody. You can't say Culturama without cult. Exactly. And we are in the cult of Culturama. Everyone, thank you for joining me on the stream today. But like I'd stated, major cutbacks on the National Institutes of Health. I think this is a good thing. I think that a lot of our money has been spent in unscrupulous ways, and what other way to see this and to experience this than to see how our money was spent towards, frankly, abusing animals, okay? Even PETA is saying this. So PETA, this is an old article, but I think that it's very pertinent, and it brings into light what the NIH actually has done. PETA accuses the NIH of buying mistreated dogs from Virginia breeding facility. Let's read this. PETA has launched a 7-month investigation into an Envigo facility in Virginia. The facility breeds dogs to be used as research animals for pharmaceutical and biotech companies, as well as the National Institute of Health. In addition, the U.S. Department of Agriculture investigation also found issues at the facility. So the National Institute of Health, or the NIH, back in 2021, has been accused of purchasing abused dogs from a Virginia breeding facility. And they have been accused by PETA. Even when PETA is saying something, you know something is wrong. Oh my goodness! We We've done it! We've done it! Row House, you have closed the gap on the Leo goal. We have reached, hold on a second. Now, this is a part of the stream where I either gain viewers or lose viewers. Hold on a second. Row House. And we have another donation by Nomad Johnny. I need to get a new sound effect for donations. Thank you so much, Nomad Johnny. Okay, let's read your guys' I was reading the Beagle article, but let's read you guys' comments first, because that comes first when you guys donate $20. Row House, thank you so much. Hero for Leo. Also, do you consider this winning? Daniela in all caps. Let's take a look. Is this a pop? Hold on a second. This is the pop base article. I think I already read this on my stream, Row House, but let's see. Yes, Row House. You missed it, Row House. I talked about this earlier on the stream. I opened up the stream actually with this story. For those that aren't aware, Row House did put this story up about the Google Calendar removing cultural key events from their calendar. And yes, Row House, this is huge. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, this is the climax the demoralization campaign that we have been posing against the left and the establishmentarian elite that have had a chokehold on our culture and in our professional institutions as well. And Like I said in the beginning of the stream, and I'll say right now, this is a big win. I don't think we should end it here. I think we should keep pushing forward and see how far we can do. But this is a big win for us, and for also reflective of what the administration has accomplished. Of course, this wasn't directly due to what the administration has done, but this, went on the tail end of the Gulf of America situation, where Google Maps has changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, as they should. And I'm still waiting for Apple to do that. But this is a huge and major win, and this is so exciting to see. Thank you so much for the donation, Row House. And Row House, you have unlocked the Beast meter. We have unlocked the Beast meter, everyone. Leo is going to come out dressed in a thematic outfit. Before I do that, let me finish reading the other donos here. Nomad Johnny with $2 writes, thank you so much, Nomad Johnny. Again, you wrote, critics say that Donald Trump only surrounds himself with yes men, yet here he is hiring plenty of people that criticize his COVID policies. Exactly, Nomad Johnny. I also think, and I've said before in the stream, I think that that Trump is learning. He has learned during his first administration, and clearly he has come back with a vengeance and a force where he really does want to make changes, and he is being very selective about who he picks, as well as what strategies he's going to implement in order to achieve those objectives. And it seems as though, I think Trump is, did you see his headshot? Compare the headshots from the first admin to the second admin. He is not joking around. Trump is taking this very seriously, and I really do think that he is a man that he is like an elephant. He never forgets, and I think he did learn from his previous mistakes, which were just not due to folly as much as it was of ignorance. And I think he is going to be very cautious about what he does here. Anyways, Row House, you've unlocked the Unleash the Beast. Thank you, everyone that has donated today. I'm going to be getting my dog out. Wait and see what he'll be wearing. I will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned and hang in there, and then we will continue on with the last story of the NIH. Stay tuned, everyone.
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty strong. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep, as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway, in the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive, in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
In our little town so serene, where the grass so clean.
Okay, we are back, everyone, with the Unleash the Beast segment. I'm gonna turn that down. Okay, everyone, you asked for it, you got it. We have Leo here in his little outfit. It is a Valentine's Day themed dress. Here he is.
Oh, my little chihuahua.
And he's wearing, as you can see, it's Valentine's Day themed, and he has the pearls, and
Always having
we're not done with that.
when you
There's more to this
dance on
outfit.
your paws like you're on a spree.
We also have this heart. What's inside of it? When we open it, we get... When you open the heart, I have a lot of crowns for Leo. I actually have a lot of tiaras for him. And we have this red one right here. We have a blue one. Oh, there's earrings with it. And we have this fun one. It's like a circus themed. But for this outfit, I'm going to be putting on the red crown here, if it can stay on. Oh, wait, actually, let me put on this tiara right here, Leo. There we go. Okay, here he is, everyone. Oh, Leo, is it gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? Now we'll see if this fits. Hold on a second. But this is my. It's not gonna fit. Let's do the other one. Okay, this is my dysgenic dog, everyone. You paid for it. You got it. Dysgenic out of 4 generations.
Always having a blast when you dance on your paws like you're on a spree, chasing your tail.
There he
What
is.
joy you bring me, my tiny furry friend. You light up my day in your 1950 style. Let's dance and play.
All right. Got that segment out of the way. Okay, what did you guys think of that outfit? Yes, I keep all his tiaras in this heart-shaped bag. Box. I think it would be thematic. Okay, Leo. Leo, what do you think about the cutbacks that are happening at the National Institutes of Health? Tell me your opinion on that. I always ask his opinion on a story. Go ahead, Leo. Tell us. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Leo. I too agree. It's probably a good move. Okay, let me turn up the volume here. What did you guys think about that? That's the Leo bit. This is, like I said, the part where I either gain viewership or lose viewership. Usually what happens is that when I bring out Leo, after a few minutes, I get more viewers come back in because they wanted to get that part out of the way. But Rowhouse, as long as those cutbacks don't affect Leo's dog food. I agree, Rowhouse. Oops, sorry, I pinned your tweet there, Rowhouse. My apologies. Well, actually, it's a good thing. I wanted people to see your tweet, your comment. What are you guys writing about in the comments about bisexual lights? AP has bisexual lights. Daniela has a non-binary dog. Interesting what's happening at the For Liberty Network, Barney Styles. Very good insight. Very insightful, like Steelbringer says. All right, I'm going to finish up this story. Leo is going to sit here and he has to listen to me read about Beaglegate. Sorry, buddy, but this is what the people wanted. Okay. What is this? Okay. An NIH spokesperson told the Washington Post agency the purchased animals from the In-Vigo facility, quote, in the past, no future purchases are planned. The NIH has purchased from the In-Vigo Cumberland in the past, but no future purchases are planned. The National Institute of Health Office of Laboratory and Animal Welfare, which provides oversight over all NIH-supported research activities that involves animals, takes very seriously the allegations concerning animal welfare and appropriate animal care in the NIH-funded studies. Of course, this was from a spokesperson from the NIH that said this. The NIH, they said, generally does not discuss whether or not the animal welfare-related investigations are taking place, and the NIH does not comment on ongoing investigations. Of course they don't. However, again, the story is from 2021, but it states that PETA has claimed that it has found evidence of abusive conditions, dogs being medically treated without pain control by people who lacked veterinary credentials, and hundreds of dogs' deaths. Leo, close your ears, please. This is very traumatizing information, probably for you. He doesn't want his ears closed. According to the Washington Post, some of PETA's findings of these animals and these dogs being mistreated were supported by an inspection by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Okay, so for those that aren't following along, PETA has accused in 2021 of the NIH, the National Institute of Health, of basically abusing these dogs, okay? They've got these beagles and they were doing medical practices on them that were deemed as abusive and mistreating them, obviously. So even, it was investigated, even by federal government, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture even said, PETA's right on this one. When you have people like PETA accusing of animal abuse, something is really wrong. Is if they're proven right, because PETA is not the best when it comes to animal welfare themselves. They've even been found to put down dogs as well, which is just absolutely very upsetting for me. There's a famous story of them putting down a Chihuahua, actually, from loving owners. It took it away because I think there was some. It could have been an issue with vaccination or something, like they didn't get, it was something very trivial. And PETA got their hands on this Chihuahua and put it down. It was like, it was the most unnecessary death. Sorry, Leo, this is very hard for you probably to listen to. But yes, so even actors within the federal government has claimed that, no, actually these allegations are pretty much correct. Yes, the NIH is abusing dogs. There was also, for those that don't remember, bipartisan legislators that demanded answers from Fauci during the Beaglegate situation. This is where it came out that experiments were being done on beagles and essentially was abusing the animals. They demand answers from Fauci on the cruel puppy experiments. I'll read this for you. A bipartisan letter demands answers from the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and President Biden's chief medical advisor. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was called the White Coat Waste Project, the nonprofit organization that first pointed out the U.S. taxpayers' money was funding the controversial Wuhan Institute of Virology, have now turned its sights on Anthony Fauci and other animal testing-related matters, infecting dozens of beagles with disease-causing parasites and to test experimental drugs on them. Extremely upsetting story, and not one that I like to cover, but I also think it's very important. I am a firm believer in animal welfare. I think if you have a healthy people, you must have healthy animals, including pets. And the way that we treat our most vulnerable in society, that includes animals, is reflective of who we are as a people and as a society. And, you know, I understand in part the necessity for some animal experimentation, but at the same time, I don't understand how you can, as a human. I don't know if you guys saw those videos. I don't want to play those videos, but of how they were basically abusing these live beagles and not feel any remorse or guilt or disgust or aversion from it. And yet, under Fauci's purview, we have abused those beagles. Again, there was a very famous video. It went viral at the time. And I don't want to play it because it's just really, it makes me sad. I don't want to cry and stream. It makes me sad. I have a soft spot for animals specifically, actually. So I don't want to play it, but I'm sure if you guys look it up or look up Beaglegate, you will find that information. The White Coast Waste Project claims that 44 beagle puppies were used in a Tunisia, North Africa laboratory, and some of the dogs had their vocal cords removed, allegedly so scientists could work without incessant barking. Okay? This is what we're dealing with. This is what the bright minds of the National Institutes of Health could muster. Our investigators show that Fauci's NIH division shipped a part of $300,000 to that lab in Tunisia to drug beagles and lock their heads in mesh cages with hungry sandflies so that insects could eat them alive. So that's the video I'm referring to. And yeah, that is where our money went towards. Okay? I have no issue with publicly. I'm not going to say that part because I don't want to get in trouble. But we should do something publicly to Fauci that would place perhaps irreparable damage to him and put him in a great deal of pain for him to okay this project. Because not only are they just providing grant money to torture animals, it's our money that was put towards torturing these animals. So when I see Trump and the Trump admin want to peel back some of the funding towards this organization like the National Institute of Health, I have no qualms with that, considering what has come about with some of their experiments. Okay. Additionally, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the left is obviously losing their mind to this situation. Quote, even Hitler did not trash German science. This journalist wrote on how Trump's cutting of the NIH funding of research grants proves disregard for science as a level of nihilism more alarming than Hitler's. So even Hitler wasn't this bad, they are claiming. I'm sorry, Leo, you had to sit through that. I know there's a lot of... Funny that Leo has come out during the time when we talk about dog abuse on this show. Tunisia. Thank you, Entropy Nomad. Like I said, I'm not great at what's the word I'm pronouncing? Thank you. I'm not really good at pronouncing. Mr. Pig, I'm not going to play the video. Stop. He's asking how much we should donate to play the video. Are you asking how much people should donate to play the video of the dogs getting abused on camera? Are you crazy? You can't pay me anything to play that video on this stream. This is an animal loving stream. We love animals here, as you can see. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to put a price on it. You guys will just have to find out how much you want to donate to I don't think I have a feeling a lot of people don't want to see that video anyway, so I learned not to trust the NIH when I watched The Secret of NIMH. That's really funny, Steelbringer. That's actually one of my favorite films, is The Secret of NIMH. Yeah, don't trust the NIH. It's a very good film. I think it was Don Bluth's best film, actually. And yes, it was better than The Land Before Time. I liked The Land Before Time a lot, but The Secret of NIMH was better. I know it's based on a book. I never read the book. I just watched the movie. But anyways. Rowhouse writes, whatever podcast, by the way, has Lily Phillips and Ava Lovia right now on it. Is that true, Rowhouse? Maybe I can open it up. Yes, he's literally worse than Hitler, Barney Styles. Correct. Oh, Leo's getting a little antsy, my boy. Okay, so this is, let me see. I have a couple more stories for you guys. Rowhouse, maybe I will check out the Whatever podcast live, but let me see if they are live on YouTube.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money.
That was an ad.
The limits of...
You're right, Rowhouse. Here it is.
You haven't seen before.
What does like dad and mom think?
So there's, I think that's her right there. Yeah.
Are they supportive?
It's interesting, really, because when I started OnlyFans, they were very supportive and stuff like that. And then when I told them I was getting into porn, it wasn't necessarily their first, like, they weren't like, yes, go on, suck that cock, you know, they weren't cheering me on, telling me to do porn. It wasn't their first pick of jobs for me.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And then when I started doing kind of like the more extreme stuff, yeah, they're this is how I describe it. They're not supportive of their job, but they're supportive of me, and they always love me and have my back.
Oh my God.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that,
I see that Andrew Wilson was there. Andrew Wilson was that man right here that popped up. I hope he debates them and demolishes them. He's the host of the Crucible stream.
Yeah, especially when I did my first bukkake, that was when I was like,
okay. All right, enough of that. Thank you, Ross, for that suggestion. When they're going to talk about bukkake, I don't know if I want to proceed with that. Although I did have 2 more wholesome stories for you guys before I cut it quits here. Interesting. I wonder if Andrew Wilson is going to demolish them in the marketplace of would be interesting if he does that. But let me play a couple more. Let me read a couple more articles to you guys, because I don't know. I think this is pretty good news right here. I came across this study, actually. It was through an Instagram post, but it linked me to this study. Did you know that rats that take cocaine prefer jazz as opposed to sober rats that prefer silence? I bet you didn't know that. So I found a post on Instagram that talked about this, and I was really interested, so I looked it up, and there was actually a study done. By the way, one of the many studies that grant money goes towards is to give cocaine to rats, speaking about animal abuse, and seeing what music they prefer for some reason. Now, I don't like this experiment, although I did find it rather interesting and appealing too. So, music-induced context preference following cocaine conditioning in rats. And what this study states, and it shows that the purpose of the study was to further assess the effectiveness of music as a conditioned stimuli in rats to determine their preferences for 2 contrasting pieces of music, and to determine rats' preferences for music versus silence. And what this study states is that in the end of it, sober rats prefer silence to anything, to any music. Rats on cocaine, out of all the music, what kind of music you think it was? You think it was orchestra? You think it was rap? No, it was jazz. Thank goodness not Taylor Swift. So rats on cocaine prefer jazz. Yes, Mr. Pig, it definitely is a waste of money. Rats prefer jazz. Is there a meme of this I can pull up? Here we go. Here we go. I found it. Oh, wait, hold on. I got a better picture for you guys. Here we go. I'm not logging into Facebook. Whoops, not that picture. There we go. So sober, we like sober silence, and when we're cooked, we like jazz. I do not have jazz. Here is the study again, an article talking about it. A controversial study shows that rats prefer jazz to classical music when on drugs, and there's a little picture of a rat playing a saxophone. The research, which showed rats' preference for jazz while under the influence of certain substances, was criticized by animal rights groups. Yeah, you're giving a very potent substance, a very potent a stimulant to an animal. The research, according to scientists, shows that rats can be conditioned to like any music associated with their drug experience. This is interesting, because there is a lot of debate about, especially when you take stimulants, if you take it at certain locations or at certain times of the day, or if you do a certain activity and you take a stimulant during that time, that does increase the rate of how much dopamine you produce, and that you will become very attached to that particular activity or piece of music or location. So I have heard about this. I don't think we need to do it on rats, though, to really get the idea. So Yes, anyway, and I did have one more story for you guys. If you will indulge me just a little longer here. Let me pull that story up. If it doesn't have the crank, it just won't spank. Exactly, Entropy Nomad. I agree. Okay, where is my link? There we go. We're no more monkeying around because total chaos has ensued in Sri Lanka. A monkey blamed for a nationwide power outage in that country. Here we go again. Energy minister says a monkey came into contact with the grid transformer, causing hours-long outage and sweltering heat. I can't read this article. I was reading this article last night and it won't let me open. And that's how I'm not paying a subscription to read this stupid article. I read it last night, so I will summarize it. There was a nationwide power outage in Sri Lanka with over 22 million people losing power, or an estimated 22 million people lost power simply because of one single monkey. And I believe since then they have brought the power back on, but this is the exceptional country with the exceptional minds that we are bringing into our country right now. And clearly it seems like Sri Lanka and India in general maybe should maintain some of their geniuses at home to deal with this, because this shouldn't have happened. A single monkey shouldn't have caused a nationwide breakout like this. And I don't think India should experience any more of a brain drain than it already has. The United States, we have enough geniuses. We don't need any more. They should probably stay in their country and fix that up, especially if they're if the grid is that weak. You know what I mean? Okay. I thought that was a kind of a funny, silly, and wholesome story, but no, the rat does not get any more of my booger sugar. That's for me. Well said, Entropy Nomad. So the rat's getting into the New York City drug cage. We're going to the jazz club afterwards. Very nice. Who would have thought that rats love jazz? I guess that does make somewhat sense. It's sort of in like their animal physiognomy, you know? I can see that happening. I can see them like jazz. Leo, actually, you'll be surprised about this. Leo does prefer classical music. He actually is a big fan of Vivaldi. When I play Vivaldi, he does fall asleep quicker. He also, now that I'm thinking about it, he really does like reggae and some jazz as well. So there is something about the tone of jazz, or I guess the ambience that it creates that calms animals down. Similarly with reggae for him. Leo loves reggae and he does like Vivaldi a lot. So I wonder if I gave cocaine to Leo what music he would prefer. But that's not happening because I'm not an animal abuser. I actually love animals. And I think it is in the best interest that we are more selective where we put our money into certain projects, into grants, and where it's going. And we should probably defund parts of the NIH so we can prevent unscrupulous spending to continue on any more. Okay, Leo. You have survived another day, and you have paid your toll to live in this house for yet another week. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for unleashing the beast today. That is very much appreciated. They just pretend to like it to sound interesting. Barney Styles says the rats are just pretending to like it. Maybe so, Barney Styles. All right, you guys. Well, I am reaching the how many hours did I stream? Was that 3 hours? I have reached the 3rd hour of the stream. I want to thank you all for coming on to this stream. I am going to probably head out now. I should go eat dinner. But I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank you all for participating in this stream. Hold on a second. Let me play the background music so the send-off can go well here.
The heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty
Thank you, everyone, for joining the Culturama stream. Thank you for taking a part in the zeitgeist, donating on the stream, supporting the show and the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you on Thursday for the Valentine's Day week stream. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And let's continue on reclaiming the zeitgeist, reclaiming the culture, and reinventing the wheel. Because we are on the track towards success, and it's imperative that we keep fighting the good fight and moving forward. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you on Thursday.
With a flagpole planted firm, golden dreams that won't decay, marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Red Star.